This program is for educational purposes only. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any diseases, nor is it intended to take the place of your primary care physician. Statements in this program have not been evaluated by the FDA. As an empowered individual, you do have options available. We're honored to continue and share the teachings of
and also Lance Layman's, and we are excited to be able to offer to you just one more opportunity for you to have a resource to information that is coming from a non-traditional avenue, non-traditional road. Thank you, Ben. That actually helps and benefits the body in so many different ways. And as we are getting started, I do, it's not that I want, but I do have to mention that the statements made by our panel here have not been evaluated by the FDA. Please understand that for legal reasons, we have to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. And with that, we have the amazing, Pharmacist Ben to join us on this hour with Q&A. So as we are getting started, Ben, just go ahead, and I know you have been in pharmacy for how long?
I'm almost embarrassed to say. No, 35 years. I graduated pharmacy school in 1986. I started pharmacy school in 1982, so depending on how you calculate, but my career in my pharmacy school career, you can call it a career, was spent in the laboratory. I didn't really work in pharmacy. I worked in the Blistex lab, as you probably know, and I studied skincare with the guy who invented Blistex. And then when I graduated pharmacy school and went out to work in drugstores, I was absolutely horrified by what I was doing, which was basically dispensing the poison. And it literally was poison. We studied in pharmacy school. We studied the poisonous nature of medications. I'm not saying that, hyperbolically or rhetorically or poetically. We literally studied the poisonous nature and how to mitigate what's called side effects, but or really poisoning effects, and how to mitigate those. And then when I graduated pharmacy school and I actually saw that I was the guy doing it, well, it wasn't very long before I started my own pharmacy, and I started getting involved in nutrition, and I started getting involved in nutrition and skincare as well. So I've been a rogue pharmacist for many years, for 35 years. And then if you include my pharmacy school career, it's almost 40 years. And I want to tag on to what you just said, Rebecca, because it's really, really important. This idea, and this is one of the things we talked about, Rebecca and I talked about before when we were discussing what we want to make this Zoom call about today. And that is this idea that we have a diagnosis that is our disease, and then we take things for that diagnosis or that disease. And what that does is, number one, it disempowers the individual and puts the power into the authority, the doctor. Because all of a sudden, now somebody's not just sick, they have multiple sclerosis. Or somebody is not just sick, but they have heart disease. Or somebody's not just sick, but they have an autoimmune disease, for example. So the point I make, or I want to make when I'm talking about longevity products, or I talk about health in general, is all diseases are generic, and your diagnosis doesn't matter in terms of getting better. The body breaks down generically, and where it breaks down doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's breaking down at the level of the intestine, or at the level of the nerves, or at the level of the skin, or the level of the bone. The fact that matters is the body is deteriorating and degenerating, and deterioration and degeneration is generic. The body breaks down the same way. Inflammation occurs, the nutrients don't get delivered to the area, oxygen doesn't get delivered to the area, toxicity doesn't leave, and that's it. And whether it happens in the heart or the nerves or the bone or the skin or anywhere else, doesn't matter. And that liberates us from the medical model. That liberates us from the tyranny of the medical model. That liberates us from authorities who would tell us what to do with our bodies. Think of the word authority. Authority comes from the word author, right? So an authority is somebody who's writing your story. Now, I grew up in the 70s. I'm looking at your picture. Some of you look like you may have grown up in the 1970s too. And we were always taught to question authority. And I always recommend that everybody questions authority. But you should especially question authority, question orthodoxy, question current dogma when it comes to your body, when it comes to health. The list of screw-ups, wrong information, changed information that the medical model has dispensed to us, has delivered to us over the course of the centuries is longer than my arm. How dare they? I'd be embarrassed if I was a representative of the medical model to dispense advice about how to take care of a viral infection or a autoimmune disease or a chronic degenerative disease. How dare they tell us that they know what they're talking about? The fact of the matter is we are responsible for our own health. And if you throw out the diagnosis and you throw out the disease and just deal with the body's breaking down, you don't need to have anybody else tell you what to do. I was talking to, this is a classic example. I got an email from a guy yesterday, a couple days ago, and his mother had something called TEMP. And you want to know what she could do for TEMP, right? TEMP stands for telangiectasia maculus eruptivum persistens. What the heck is that? Telangiectasia macula eruptiva persistens. What the heck is going on? Well, telangiectasia means your blood vessels are dilating. Macula means that you have a pigmentation. Macula means stain or pigment. Eruptiva means it pops up every once in a while. Persistence means it doesn't go away. That's all it is. It's a description of patches that show up on your arm. And this guy doesn't know what the heck to do. How am I going to treat TEMP? It's in Latin. It's some kind of description of what's happening in the body in a term or in a phrase that nobody can understand. And what does that do? That disempowers us. That makes us feel like we can't handle this thing on our own. And I'm here to tell you, and Longevity is really here to tell you, that we can do it on our own. In fact, this is what Longevity is about. Longevity is about freedom. It's about independence. Whether you're talking about independence from the medical model or you're talking about independence from the financial model. From a medical standpoint, if you interact with Longevity, you'll be liberated from the idea that you have to go to the doctor when you're sick, that you have to take drugs when you're sick, that if your gallbladder hurts, you have to have surgery, that you can't understand your body because it's too complicated and you have to go to the medical priest who's plugged into the medical gods who will tell you what's wrong with your body. From the financial perspective, it liberates you from the 9 to 5. It liberates you from the current economic status, whatever that is. It liberates you from government handouts. It liberates you in a way that allows you to take care of your own financial health, just like it liberates you in terms of your physical body. It liberates you in a way that will allow you to take care of your own physical health. I once asked Dr. Wallach, some of you may remember that Longevity, before it was Longevity, was called American Longevity. You guys remember that? American Long, I don't even remember how long ago that was, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it was American Longevity. And so I asked Doc once, why did you call it American Longevity? And he said to me, it's my two favorite things. America, which is freedom and independence and the promotion of carving your own way, of carving your own path, and longevity, which is health. And that's what Longevity is really all about. It's about longevity, it's about health, it's about quality of life, and it's about freedom, and it's about the helping you or promoting the idea that you can carve your own way, you can make your own path. And that's what Longevity is about, and that's what American Longevity is about, and that's what I stand for as well. And that's what everybody who's involved in the business is. I don't know how many of you guys are already involved in the business, and excuse me for preaching to the choir, but for you new people who have come on board, please understand that this is a golden opportunity for you not just to make money and not just to have a home-based business, but to really make a difference in the world, not through products necessarily, although the products are wonderful, but through ideas, through concepts. And whether or not if you could be listening to me speak right now, have nothing to do with Longevity, never want to hear of Longevity again, but you're going to benefit just from the ideas that we're talking about, because Longevity is about a philosophy, it's about a concept, and it's about ideas, and that is the ideas that we can be our own health authorities. We can be our own authorities in our life. And that's a very, very powerful idea that we need more of. And keep in mind, the fact that you're on this call and that you're even interested in what we're talking about puts you on the cutting edge. It puts you on at the tip of the spear. Most people are just going to do what their doctor told them. Most people are just going to do what they heard on the news. Most people are going to do what the current conventional wisdom advises them to do. You guys smell a rat. You guys say there's something that's not right here. There's something that's not working here, and don't underestimate the fact that you see that your eyes are beginning to open, or your eyes are completely open. Your neighbors aren't. And so it's up to us, and I think it's up to all of us as individuals. We're all responsible for how the world is, to help other people wake up to the fact that they can take care of their own financial health as well as physical health. And that's what longevity allows you to do. It gives you a platform to do that. And so today what I want to do is I'm going to answer questions, and we're going to do these every month. So if questions come up, or if you know somebody who wants to come on board, we're going to be doing these every month. But I also want to show you how easy it is to do the business from a healthcare perspective. I'm not a network marketing guy. I don't really even know. Rebecca is a genius at network marketing. So if you have any network marketing questions, Rebecca is your go-to. I don't really know much about network marketing, but I know how to move and how to sell longevity products, because I understand how the body works and how the longevity formulations that Dr. Wallach and Richard Grant put together can help you leverage and optimize how the body works. And the body's a healing system. There's no reason why anybody cannot begin to turn around a health condition today. Listen to what I said. Every single health condition you have, I don't care if it's stage 4 cancer, can begin to turn around today. You can begin the process today. And even better, the great gift of the human body is the sicker we are, the faster we turn it around. How cool is that? The more nutritionally deficient you are, the faster your body will absorb those nutrients. The more weight you need to lose, the faster the pounds will drop off. So for people who are really, really in bad shape, this is the best news they can ever hear. They can begin to get better today. But of course, we know that the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over again, right? And expecting different results. We got to do something different, and that's what longevity gives you an opportunity to do. And that's what we're going to talk today about, how you do that. So we'll talk about the business a little bit, because I know there's a bunch of questions, and I want to get to all of them, and then we'll answer your questions. All right? Does that sound good, Rebecca?
That sounds fabulous, Ben. And something that I want to add and attest to what you just said: the sicker you are, the faster the results you're going to get.
Yeah, that's so cool.
When I found longevity, I was bedridden. I couldn't even roll myself out of bed. I had so many different conditions, and including a torn hip capsule, herniated discs. I had compression fractures that I was still having lots of pain from. There was just so much, in addition to being 120 pounds overweight. It was incredible, and nothing that I had tried prior, because I knew supplementation, there was something to it. But the more I tried to lose weight, the more I gained. And when I started with Dr. Wallach's protocol, I didn't know what I was starting with. I started with the basics. And at that time was the pig pack, so all the liquids. And in that first 3 months, I lost 20 pounds, and I lost the symptoms of 15 different conditions. So it's exactly what Ben said, is it doesn't have to be, this for this, this for this. I mean, the body itself, when it's given what it needs, can do amazing things. And one thing that I encourage everybody, I don't care if you've been told you have this, this, and this, and this, do not become that label. Do not accept that label. Be empowered. And that's something that we're putting this program together for, to help you become empowered. I love Pharmacist Ben. I love the fact that when I first got started, he came out to Phoenix and we did a whole series of 6 Health is Simple lectures, which was absolutely fabulous, because that's where I got started. Health is simple. And I just want to thank you so much, Ben, for doing that and being here for us and helping us get truth when it comes to being empowered and being our own authority. So thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Rebecca. So let's just so we get the timing right. You think I want to introduce some. I want to talk a little bit about the basic concepts of the products, how you get started, and then I want to answer questions. How many questions do we have? How long do you think we should leave for questions?
So right now we have 4 hands up with people who are here online with us with their hands up. And then like I said, I have like 17, 18 questions that have been emailed in just since we announced the call on Thursday.
All right. So let me just say a couple things real quick, and then we'll answer some questions. And I love what Rebecca said is, we come out and help you. I will fly out to help you. And I've done that more times than I can count, because I believe that when you have a skill set that can help people, you have to go out and do it. You can't just sit on it. What am I going to do with the skill set that I have? I understand how the body works, and I've been studying the body for decades, hardcore. I've been studying medicine. I've been studying chemistry and biochemistry, nutritional chemistry for decades, so I have to do it. So thank you, Rebecca, for pointing that out, but I'm going to do this till the day I die. I'm going to scream from the rooftop that you don't have to be sick till the day I die. Now, second thing I want to say is this idea about getting better. When you're sick, don't allow the goalpost to be set up for you. You make the goalpost. The medical model tells us the goalpost is our metrics, our blood pressure, our blood sugar, our TSH, our bone mineral density. I'm telling you the goalpost should be how good you feel. How many people say they feel lousy, they go to the doctor and say, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe take this Prozac, this antidepressant. Or how many people say they feel awesome, but the doctor says, oh my God, you have low TSH. You have this, your bone mineral density is low. See, we've allowed them to set the model, to set the goal for us. I'm telling you, the goal should be how good you feel. Who cares if the doctor says you have stage 4 cancer? If you feel awesome and you're jumping out of the bed in the morning and you feel great. Who cares what the doctor says or what the medical professional says if you feel good? Vice versa, who cares what they say if you don't feel as good as you should feel, So the metric that we want to go by is how good you feel. And the beautiful thing about nutritional deficiencies is that the more deficient you are in nutrients, the faster you can begin to turn it around. And this is where we get into our 3 products that we call the Healthy Start Pack. Everybody who's starting, first of all, everybody who's doing the business should be on the Healthy Start Pack themselves. So you can see for yourself what this will do for you. And everybody who's trying to get somebody else to do the business or even wants to help somebody with their health should get them on the Healthy Start Pack. Don't worry about, what do I do for multiple sclerosis? What do I do for osteoporosis? What do I do for eczema? What do I do for this autoimmune disease or this chronic degenerative disease? Just get everybody on the Healthy Start Pack. The Healthy Start Pack is 3 products, and it covers what we call the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. I'm sure most of you guys have heard that. The Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients are all the nutrients that you must get from outside the body and put into your body. The way nature has set things up is our bodies can make everything they need except for 90 building blocks. And those 90 building blocks have to come in from food. Now, in a perfect world, we're living in the Garden of Eden. We pick the apple off the tree and it's loaded with vitamin C and phytonutrients and zinc and copper and potassium and sodium and all the things that you need. We don't live in the Garden of Eden, so that's not going to happen. So supplementation is a must. And ironically, while food is supposed to provide us with nutrients, ironically, not only does food not provide us with the nutrients that we need, it costs us nutrition because the body has to use nutrients to digest the food and to process and assimilate that food. So if you're eating food that doesn't have nutrients in it, not only are you not getting the nutrients from your food, you're losing the nutrients that you already have. So supplementation is a must. Sometimes people will ask me, oh, I'm on this prescription, I'm on a statin drug, I'm on Prozac, I'm on an antihypertensive, I'm on a calcium channel blocker. Will the nutrients interfere with my drugs? Now, I silently laugh to myself because that's like saying, is the nutrients going to block the poison? That's what I think in my head when they say something like that. Nonetheless, the point is that not only will nutrients not interfere with your drugs, but every time you take a drug, your body has to use its precious resources to detoxify that drug. So the nutrients are not only not going to interfere with the drug, they're going to help the drug. They're going to help your body clear the drug more effectively. They're going to support the action that the drug is supposed to be supporting. So if you take a calcium channel blocker for your heart and you take the Healthy Start Pack, your heart's going to work better. You're going to need less calcium channel blocker, and the Healthy Start Pack is going to help you detoxify the calcium channel blocker. So you're going to have less risk for toxicity and side effects, and you'll be conserving your precious nutritional resources. So number one, if you're on a prescription drug, you need the Healthy Start Pack even more. Number two, if you're subsisting on the standard American diet or you're eating a lot of food, you need the Healthy Start Pack even more. All right, so let's get into exactly what the Healthy Start Pack is. Healthy Start Pack is the 90 essential nutrients. The first product in the Healthy Start Pack is what I consider to be the most important longevity product. And this product is not only the most important longevity product and the most important part of the Healthy Start Pack, but it's also the one product that you want to give somebody if you want to start them off and you want to demonstrate for them how effective the longevity supplements are, or if you want to do a good deed for somebody and you just want to give them. I keep extra Beyond Tangy Tangerines just to give out to people. And I meant to, I didn't tell you it was Beyond Tangy Tangerine. I was going to say that, but it's the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine are now it's 2.5. They've refined it, which is another cool thing about longevity. The products are always are constantly being updated and refined as more scientific literature comes out. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.5 has got numerous benefits, but the most important benefit is that it's a liquid, or it's a powder that you put into water and then you make it into a liquid. You drink your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. And what that does is it allows you to get very rapid results, very quick results. Is that Glenn? Mike Meehan, you look like Glenn. Mike looks like Glenn. So it allows you to get very quick results. In pharmacy school, they always tell us the best ways to get your the best way to get your medicine, the best dosage forms are going to be liquids. The worst dosage form is a solid, a capsule and tablet. The best dosage form is actually a suppository, but we couldn't do that. I don't know if that people would really go for Beyond Tangy Tangerine suppositories. So we went with the next best way, which is liquid. So those are the best ways to get medicine into the body. Those are the best ways to get nutrition into the body. Liquid not only goes into the body fast, but it also bypasses digestive issues. So if you're not making enough enzymes, if you're not making enough stomach acid, if you have an intestinal issue, all of those can be mitigated. All those issues can be mitigated because the Beyond Tangy Tangerine is liquid. It bypasses all of that. So Beyond Tangy Tangerine is liquid. You get super quick results. And Beyond Tangy Tangerine is liquid, so it bypasses digestive health issues. Keep in mind, by the way, the best time to do your Beyond Tangy Tangerine, based on what I just said about nutrients being missing from food and food costing us nutrition, the best way to do your Beyond Tangy Tangerine is with your meals. You will find that when you start to supplement with anything really, but especially a high-powered concentrated supplement like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, you'll find that if you take too much of it, your body will not be able to handle it. And sometimes people will say that they're gassy or bloaty or have diarrhea or loose stools. That's a sign that you're not absorbing effectively and you want to back off on the dose. So if anybody, that's the most common complaint people have, is start off too much. The instructions on Beyond Tangy Tangerine say a scoopful. I don't recommend people do a scoopful all at once. I recommend they do a small amount in water and drink that water all day long. If you do a big dose all at once, you'll get a spike and then it'll drop. The body will excrete what it doesn't use. So the best way to do all your nutrients, this is just true, and medicine for that matter too, is in divided doses, as we say in pharmacy, divided doses. So you'll take your medicine 3 times a day, 4 times a day, 5 times a day, because Beyond Tangy Tangerine is a liquid, sip on it throughout the day. If you want to really see how quickly Beyond Tangy Tangerine works, go to a nursing home or find somebody who's really frail, and you will be blown away by how quick this stuff works, especially for older folks who've never supplemented before, or especially for people who have dementia or neurological issues, because the brain absorbs nutrients extremely quickly. So you could do the kindest thing you could do for somebody is find somebody in a nursing home, if it's a relative or a friend or somebody you know, and bring them Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Not only will you be helping them, but you'll see for yourself how rapidly it works. Also, people who are frail benefit tremendously. Along the same lines we said before, the sicker you are and the more nutritionally deficient you are, the faster you turn it around, the faster you absorb. People who are frail especially benefit. People who are post-surgery, who are in a massive healing process, who are rapidly healing or healing quickly, will benefit especially. And of course, just generally, everybody will benefit. The healthier you are, the less you're going to notice it. But the sicker you are, the more frail you are, and the more nutritionally deficient you are, the faster you're going to notice it. You don't have to put Beyond Tangy Tangerine just in water and drink it. You can put it in ice cubes, make an ice cube tray, make ice cubes with it, and you can put those ice cubes in your drinks to spike up your drinks with some nutritional value. You know, fruit juice, if you're drinking, or whatever you're drinking that's a cold beverage, put Beyond Tangy Tangerine ice cubes in. You can put in your vodka if you want. Actually tastes great with vodka. You can make Jello mold. You can make little Jellos with Beyond Tangy Tangerine in those freezer, in those ice cube trays. And by the way, gelatin is also happens to be good for you. So a Knox gelatin Beyond Tangy Tangerine cube is a delicious dessert that you could get. There's all kinds of things that you could do with this stuff. And as you're doing it, you're giving yourself high concentrations of nutrients, but especially high concentrations of water-soluble nutrients. The water-soluble nutrients are the electrolytes, potassium, magnesium, calcium, sodium, etc., and the B complex and vitamin C. These days, everybody's walking around with a water bottle, right? We all know we're supposed to drink a lot of water. Everybody tells us we're supposed to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day, and it's true, you do want to drink a lot of water, but guess what? When you drink water, you urinate. And when you urinate, you're urinating out your vitamin C, you're urinating out your B complex, you're urinating out your electrolytes. So the more water you're drinking, the more you need your Beyond Tangy Tangerine. First thing in the morning is especially important for Beyond Tangy Tangerine and water, for that matter. And you may notice that you're not even going to need your coffee or your caffeine jolt, because you may just be tired and fatigued because you're undernutriated. You haven't had water and you haven't had nutrition for 8 hours while you're sleeping. And while you're sleeping, you're losing hydration as you're sweating and as you're breathing, and if you go to the bathroom once or twice. So first thing in the morning, we're nutritionally deficient and we're dehydrated. No wonder why we feel lousy. You may find that you're not even going to need your caffeine if you do some Beyond Tangy Tangerine first thing in the morning. And also, by the way, water is another thing that you want to be doing first thing in the morning. Beyond Tangy Tangerine, because it's such a dense amount of nutrients in it, is one of the best diet aids you'll ever use. You'll find that you don't eat as much food if you supplement in general, but if you do your Beyond Tangy Tangerine with your meals or before your meals, you'll find that you're filled up faster. So it's a great diet tool, and as you're using Beyond Tangy Tangerine throughout the days and the months and the years, you'll find that you're eating less food and you require less food to be satisfied. This is one of the most interesting things. People who aren't even trying to lose weight, don't necessarily want to lose weight, find that they're losing weight just because they're eating less food. And that's one of the most dramatic things that we see at the conventions. And if we ever do another convention, I encourage everybody to go to the conventions. But that's one of the most dramatic things that we see is people losing 100 pounds, like Rebecca was saying. It sounds amazing that Rebecca lost 100 pounds, but in this longevity family, and we are a family, we hear it all the time. 100 pounds, 120 pounds, 150 pounds, 80 pounds, 50 pounds, the most amazing stories. All right, so Beyond Tangy Tangerine, I encourage you to get the little but the little packets that they sell. Keep them in your purse, or keep them in your car, or keep them in your wallet, keep them in your pocket, and just give them to people that you love, give them to people that you think you can help, give them to people that you know, not even for the business, although the chances are pretty good once somebody uses it, they're going to become a customer of yours, just as a good deed. Just to help spread good cheer. I mean, to pay it forward, especially if nutritional supplementation has helped you in your life or in your loved one's life. The second product in the Healthy Start Pack is the Ultimate EFAs, or also the EFA Plus. They're slightly different, but they're both basically a special kind of fat called an essential fat. Technically, it's called an essential fatty acid. In the world of nutrition, when you hear the word essential, that means you have to get that substance from outside or you'll die. Air is essential. Water is essential. You don't have water, you die. You don't have air, you die. There are 90 nutrients, the mighty 90 essential nutrients, that have that same quality as air and water. Without them, you die. Now, the fact is we always get a tiny little bit, so nobody's going to die of a selenium deficiency or a vitamin C deficiency or a vitamin A deficiency, but your body will be operating suboptimally. You'll be leaving health on the table. So essentiality is a little misunderstood because people think that if I'm not dying, I get plenty of my essential nutrients. That's not true. We're leaving health on the table. 2 of the mighty 90 essential nutrients are fats. Technically we call them fatty acids, or because they're essential fatty acids, aka EFAs, essential fatty acids. Now, essential fatty acids are the most, of all the mighty 90 essential nutrients, a case could be made anyway. There's a lot of them that are fascinating. They're the most fascinating because they're so multifunctional. And I love multifunctionality. That's my big thing. In fact, on our next Zoom call, we'll talk about multifunctionality. Multifunctionality is when you get a lot of benefits from one supplement, or you get a lot of benefits from one thing. With drugs, you take a prescription drug, not only do you not get multiple benefits, but you get toxicity and side effects. With nutrition, not only do you not get toxicity and side effects, you get multiple benefits. You get multifunctionality. And of all the nutrients, the most multifunctional are the essential fatty acids. One of the main roles of essential fatty acids is they are your body's natural aspirin. They're your body's natural Motrin. They're your body's natural anti-inflammatory. They are how aspirin works and how Motrin works. Essential fatty acids are the core of the biochemical mechanism of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs and aspirin. So when you take essential fatty acids, you're taking nature's aspirin, and it may very well be that the reason we take aspirin, whether it's we're taking a baby aspirin after we have a heart attack, or whether we're taking aspirin for our headaches or menstrual problems or any kind of arthritis or general pain, it may be that we need aspirin because we have an essential fatty acid deficiency. So essential fatty acids are your body's natural aspirin. Now, I should explain a little bit of that because that's not exactly right. There's 2 essential fatty acids. You have what are called omega-6 essential fatty acids, and you have omega-3 essential fatty acids. Now, there's only one omega-6 essential fatty acid. It's called it's called linoleic acid. Alpha-linolenic acid is omega-6. Don't worry about or omega-3. Don't worry about the name. The reason I'm saying this is important is because just because something is an omega-6 or just because something is an omega-3 does not make it an essential fatty acid. Omega-6 and omega-3 are generic designations. There's only one omega-6 that qualifies as essential. There's only one omega-3 that qualifies as essential. Omega-6 essential fatty acid comes from most of our sources of oils: corn, soy, safflower, sunflower, and theoretically, we should all get plenty of omega-6s because we're all eating soy, it's oil, and sunflower oil, and almond oil, and corn oil, and all the oils we generally eat are rich in this single omega-6 fatty acid, linoleic acid. However, because we cook and we process, we lose those essential fatty acid, that linoleic acid, when we eat our sunflower oil and our safflower oil and our corn oil, soy oil, etc. This is why Doc Wallach always says, don't cook your oils. Doc Wallach actually says, don't eat any oils. But the point he's making is that these oils, once they're heated to any extent, they've lost their essential fats, which is why even though we eat a lot of oils that contain omega-6s, we're still going to be deficient in omega-6s. Now, omega-3s are the omega-3 fatty acid, alpha-linolenic acid, is much harder to find. It's found in the body and in nature at much lower levels. And that's the one that you get from flaxseed or hemp seed or chia seeds. Those are the best sources, the seeds. Now, some people will say, I take fish oil. Fish oil does not have essential fatty acid. Fish oil has omega-3 fats, but they're not essential. So it's great to take fish oil. There's lots of good things in fish oil, but you still need to have the omega-3 fat that comes from flax or chia or hemp, and that is alpha-linolenic acid. Now, I said earlier, I said something that was a little bit misleading, and that is that EFAs are your body's natural aspirin. And the reason I say that's misleading is because omega-3, alpha-linolenic acid, is your body's natural aspirin. Omega-3 essential fats are anti-inflammatory. Omega-6 essential fats are inflammatory. So you say, oh my gosh, I don't want anything inflammatory. No. Inflammation precedes the healing process. You cannot heal without the inflammatory biochemistry being initiated first. So deficiencies in omega-6s will slow the healing process down. Not only that, but most of the essential fats inside the body that run the biochemistry are of the omega-6 variety, the linoleic acid. Not only that, but one of the major roles, to say that enough because it's really, really important, of these fats, omega-6 and omega-3s, linoleic acid and alpha-linolenic acid, are, or we'll just say LA and ALA, that's what how they're abbreviated, is for the skin. Now, some of you guys know I've been in the skincare business for many years, and if I've learned anything about the skin, it is that what shows up on the outside starts off on the inside. And there is no such thing as a skin health issue that does not have some kind of nutritional deficiency associated with it. Just like there's no such thing as any kind of health issue that doesn't have a nutritional deficiency associated with it. Dry skin, eczema, aging skin, sensitive skin, psoriasis, boils, cysts, acne are all rooted in essential fatty acid deficiency. Every single skin disease that you can name can begin to resolve itself once you get yourself on essential fatty acids. The ultimate EFAs and the ultimate EFA plus, which is the second of the big three in the Healthy Start Pack. I don't want you to even begin to think that I've been comprehensive here. I haven't even scratched the surface on EFAs. If you have menstrual problems, if you have any kind of inflammatory problems, if you have any brain health issues, dementia or movement disorders, Bell's palsy or Parkinson's disease, if you have any digestive health issues, intestinal issues, EFAs are vitally, vitally important. And that's why I say they're so fascinating, because there's so many different roles that they play in good health by virtue of the fact that they're the molecules of inflammation and anti-inflammation, and by virtue of the fact that they're important for the structural integrity of the core of the body, which is the cell. Those of you guys, by the way, I do a radio program every day called The Bright Side. If you're interested in checking out, we talk about this all the time. And you could Google Pharmacist Ben and The Bright Side if you want to get into it, or if you want to enjoy it. And we have many years of archived information at brightsideben.com. Also plug for criticalhealthnews.com. Thank you, Jonty, for setting that one up. One of the things I say all the time on The Bright Side is all disease is cell disease. That means there's no such thing as breast cancer. There's no such thing as prostate cancer. There's no such thing as a disease at the level of an organ. We only treat the organ because we cannot treat the cell medically. So when we say all disease is cell disease, we say if you have a thyroid problem, you don't have a thyroid problem, you have a thyroid cell problem. If you have breast cancer, you don't have breast cancer, you have breast cell cancer. If you have prostate cancer, you don't have prostate cancer, you have prostate cell cancer. If you have a skin disease, you don't have a skin disease, you have a skin cell disease. If you have osteoporosis, you don't have a bone disease, you have a bone cell issue. And the reason this is important is because while the medical model cannot do anything for a cell, we can. See, the medical model doesn't want to tell you about a cell. And when I say the medical model, I don't mean doctors. I have a lot of friends who are doctors. They're good people. I'm not ripping on physicians as individuals. I'm ripping on the paradigm, the model, the medical model. It's not about individual physicians who, for the most part, are really good people who really want to alleviate suffering, and they're doing it in the best way they can. But the paradigm says that we can only treat the thyroid or the bone or the intestine. We can't treat the cell because the cell doesn't need the medical model. The cell has been around for 3.5 billion years with a B, and in that 3.5 billion years, it has developed a menu from which it likes to eat from. And guess what? There ain't no Ritalin on the menu. There's no metoprolol on the menu. There's no prescription drugs on the menu. The menu is all the mighty 90 essential nutrients. But because the medical model has no tools for the cell, it will do everything it can do to the organ. That is, excise the organ, electrocute the organ, drug the organ, or ablate the organ. They'll try to treat the disease at the level of the organ, even if it comes to taking the whole thing out. Think about it. Don't ever go to a doctor or a representative of the medical model and tell them you have gallbladder pain. Never do that. Take care of it on your own, because you're going to leave without your gallbladder. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but this is the strategy. This is the logic, because nobody treats the cell. The cell is wrapped around. Every one of the cells of our body are wrapped around, and you have 100 trillion of these things, by the way, and they're so small you couldn't see them with your eye. If you put them on a cell on the counter, it would be invisible. 100 of them could fit end to end on the head of a pin. And each one of those cells is wrapped around with a layer of fat that is partially comprised with essential fatty acids. Now, all the other fats in the body, your body can make. But if you're missing those essential fatty acids, that wrapping around the cell will become dysfunctional. When that wrapping around the cell becomes dysfunctional, the cell becomes dysfunctional. There are a lot of people who are on hormone replacement therapy. Hormone replacement therapy is when your body is not getting the same kind of hormonal response it used to get. Well, the way a hormone works is it has to interact with that oil or that fatty coating around the cell. If you don't have the right fats around the cell, your hormone is not going to interact with that cell, and you're going to think you need hormone replacement therapy. And it could very well be all you need is some essential fatty acid. In fact, we know that essential fatty acids actually act like estrogen for you ladies who are on hormone replacement therapy. As a bonus, essential fatty acids act like statin drugs for you guys who are on statin drugs. They support the body's ability to make cholesterol. So every cell in the body is wrapped around with a layer of fat. Without essential fatty acids, you can't make cells correctly. If you're not making cells correctly, all diseases ensue, because all disease is cell disease. All cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. All disease is cell disease, and no cell disease starts without dirty blood. When I say dirty blood, I mean clogged, sticky blood. This current infection that's out in the news is a classic manifestation of what happens when the blood is dirty, when the blood is toxic. And this is why blood, the issue itself is a blood issue. It's not a lung issue or a respiratory issue, it's a blood issue. And people who are already predisposed to having blood problems because their blood is clogged and sticky are going to be more prone towards having problems with this current infection. Maybe we don't need to be injected with anything. Maybe we need some essential fatty acids, because essential fatty acids thin the blood. They're one of nature's greatest blood thinner. That is specifically alpha linolenic acid, or ALA, or omega-3. So for you guys who are worried about, well, for anybody who's sick, if you want to start to clean the blood out, get yourself on the ultimate EFAs. There's so many different things that the ultimate EFAs are important for. Like I say, I could talk about it for the rest of the hour, but I don't want to do that. I want to move to the third, and I want to take some questions. Real quickly, the Beyond Osteo-fx is a vitamin D and calcium supplement, and it's the third in the supplement. The first most important is the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. That's the #1 supplement. If somebody doesn't want to do the Healthy Start Pack, and I recommend everybody does the Healthy Start Pack, at least get them on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, then get them on the Ultimate EFAs, and then do the whole Healthy Start Pack in that order. The Osteo-fx is vitamin D and calcium and phosphorus. It's designed to build bone, but vitamin D does much more than just build bone. Vitamin D's main role in the body is to help the body absorb calcium. But because calcium functions as a cell activator, everything benefits. Now, most people, when they think of calcium, they think of their bones. And that's true. Calcium gives your bones a hardness. But calcium's main role in the body is to activate things. It's to make muscle cells muscle. It's to make heart cells heart. It's to make skin cells skin. It's to make intestinal cells intestine. It's to make immune cells immune. It's to make brain cells brain. You hear what I'm saying here? Every cell functions and does its duty under the regulation, or at least partially under the regulation of calcium. That's why we have drugs called calcium channel blockers, which you may have heard of. Calcium channel blockers have a reputation for being among the most toxic of all the drugs. Why? Because you're blocking the cell from using calcium. Notice all drugs that you take are blockers or antis or inhibitors or suppressors. This is how the medical model works. It inhibits, it suppresses, it blocks, it prevents things from happening. Calcium channel blockers keep calcium from getting into cells. Cells don't do what they're supposed to do. Now, believe it or not, the medical model says that's a good thing, because when they do give it to somebody who has heart disease, it slows the heart down. Or when they give it to somebody who has hypertension, it opens up the blood vessels. And this is how the medical model works. However, calcium is incredibly important if you want to be healthy. And a calcium channel blocker is the exact opposite of that. So vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium. Calcium helps everything work better in the body. Now it's being marketed as a bone supplement, and there's phosphorus, and there's strontium, and there's zinc, and there's a lot of bone minerals in there, but you want to think of Beyond Osteo-fx as a cell activator, as a supplement that turns cells on, that helps all the cells work better, even if it's marketed as an osteoporosis or as a bone building supplement, which is very valuable. So those are the three products of the Healthy Start Pack. It's $150 a month. It is all of your nutrients. There's no way, if you do it correctly, that you're not going to start to feel better, particularly if you're sick or if you're frail or if you're weak or if you're recovering from surgery. And it's a great way to introduce people into, and for you guys who are new here, to introduce anybody to the longevity philosophy and the potency of longevity products. There are other products that I consider to be important, but in a secondary way, and we'll probably talk about them on another Zoom call: the glucogel caps, the ultimate enzymes, the ultimate selenium, the sweeties. There's probably about 6 or 7 of them that are in on the outskirts. It's like the Healthy Start Pack is like the hub of a wheel, and then you have spokes around the wheel, and then you have a bigger circle, and there's probably about 6 or 7 products in there, and then you have an even bigger spoke, and you have the rest of the products. So when you want to start somebody off as somebody if you're doing the business, start them off with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Carry around a little packet with you. If they really want to engage in the business, get them on the Healthy Start Pack. If they're kind of on the fence, the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, then you can throw in the Ultimate EFA. Now, the last thing I want to say, and we'll take some questions. I know I've probably talked way too long here, but the last thing I want to say before I take some questions is it's not all nutritional supplementation, because it's not what you eat, it's what you absorb. Beyond Tangy Tangerine, as I said earlier, will help you bypass some absorption problems because it's liquid, but you always want to focus on the digestive system. Somebody comes to you, we started off this conversation by saying how don't worry about what anybody's diagnosis is, your job is to get them better. So you don't have to feel like, oh, I don't know anything about Alzheimer's disease. I don't know anything about muscular dystrophy. I don't know anything about amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. What do? I got to call Ben. I got to call Dr. Wallach. I got to go do some research. No, you don't have to do that. Your job is to get them better. And if you want to get somebody better right away, and you want to make a best friend right away, work on the digestive system. The digestive system is where it all begins. I'm not some foodie. I'm not some, Boulder, Colorado freakazoid who only eats organic and, vegan and vegetarian. That's not what I'm saying. And you don't have to be that way. But just understand that the core of the body is the digestive system, the center of the body. In Eastern medicine and in Buddhism, they always tell you about the center of the body. In basketball and football, they always tell you, watch the center of the body. Center of your body has more, next to your brain, your center of your body has more neurology than any other part of your body. The center of the body is where everything begins. In the center of your body, you have your intestine. The intestine is the barrier or the gateway to the bloodstream. If all disease is cell disease and all cell disease is dirty blood, all dirty blood becomes dirty by things that are getting through the intestine. Now, there's one exception to that, and that's if you inject things intravenously. And this is why it's such a problem to inject anything intravenously. Anything, if you know what I'm saying. It's a big problem to inject anything directly into the bloodstream. It bypasses all of the body's protective mechanisms. And in the intestine, things are supposed to go into the bloodstream in a tightly controlled fashion. But over the course of time, over the course of aging, over the course of malnutrition, as the impact of malnutrition starts to accrue, as the impact of a stressful lifestyle starts to accrue, as the impact of toxicity that gets into the body through the mouth and through the digestive system starts to accrue, the intestinal barrier becomes leaky. You probably have heard of something called leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome is when that intestine becomes leaky and all manner of toxicity gets into the blood. Once the toxicity gets into the blood, you are off to the disease races. And you don't have to be tested for leaky gut. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your time. If you have any chronic disease, whether it's diabetes or heart disease or a skin issue or cancer, whatever it is, you have leaky gut, guaranteed. And it's even if you don't have a health issue, it's very possible that you have at least some degree of leaky gut just because of the way we live our lives. So the reason this is important is because sometimes people will start the Healthy Start Pack and they'll get benefits right away, and then they'll plateau. They'll stay the same. If you see somebody who's plateauing, start to work on the digestive system. And we could talk about that on our next Zoom call. But the digestive system is the key. And if that's not working correctly, you're not going to be able to maximize the results that you get from your supplements. Last thing I want to say is this. When you focus on the digestive system with your client, your patient, several things will happen. First of all, they're going to notice a difference because they've never heard of this relationship between the digestive system and their arthritis, or their digestive system and their neurological problems, and their digestive system and their acne or their eczema. They never heard of this. So when you start to tell them about their digestive system, they're going to see that you know what you're talking about. Because number two, they're going to get results. So number one, they're going to come to trust you as a healthcare coach, if you will. And number two, they're going to get results. And in addition to them trusting you and them getting results, number three, and most importantly for you people doing the business, if you're trying to engage somebody in the business, is you will vest your client. You don't want to be the health coach that tells them what to do. You don't want to be the health coach that's always bugging them about taking their Beyond Tangy Tangerine. You don't want to be the health coach who's always calling them, did you order your Healthy Start Pack? Are you going to order your Healthy Start Pack? When are you going to do this? You don't want to be that person. You want to be their coach that they come to. And if you don't vest them first, if you don't involve them first in their own healing process, they're not going to be a good customer, a good client for you. So number one, you get benefits because it really works. They'll notice things that they didn't notice before. Number two, they're going to come to trust you. And number three, they will become engaged in their own healing process. Because just like you want to be your own health authority, you don't want to be anybody else's health authority. You want them to be their own health authorities. We're building a community of health authorities. We're not the health authority. I'm not the health authority here, you guys. I'm building a community of health authorities. You can do everything I can do. Everything I can do and everything I just said is understandable and is utilizable by anybody. Did I say anything that was complicated? Did I say anything you needed a medical degree for? Did you have to go to college, to medical school for 8 years to understand what I just said? You can do exactly what I can do. And because the bottom line is, and this is the most important thing, the body is made to heal. The body is built to heal. The skin you have today did not exist yesterday. In fact, the skin you have now didn't even exist an hour ago when we started this conversation. It's constantly regenerating. It's constantly renewing. The bone is constantly renewing. The digestive tract is constantly renewing. The blood is constantly renewing. Everything is constantly renewing. So what you have today, you don't have to have tomorrow. We're built to heal. Our bodies are built to regenerate. We just have to supply them with the raw material that they need. And that's what longevity provides in multiple ways, with products as well as with ideas and information. And you know what? Most importantly, the way I look at it, and hopefully the way you look at it as well, most importantly, with inspiration. I want you guys to be inspired when you hear me talk, and I want you to inspire others. Because that's really, at the end of the day, we have an inspiration crisis. People are not inspired. People are not inspired to get up in the morning. People are not inspired to go do their jobs. People are not inspired to even be alive. And what does inspired mean? It means in spirit. You're putting the spirit inside of you, and that's what longevity is all about. We're about inspiring people, and what I made my life about inspiring people, and I want you guys to be able to do the same thing. All right, so I know I'll answer some questions here. I know I talked a lot. I hope you guys consider that valuable, and then we'll do these every week too, or every month. So we'll be able to, if we don't get to something today, we'll be able to get to them next month. And send questions in. Rebecca, why don't you give your email out? Send questions in to Rebecca, and then we'll address all your questions on our next Zoom meeting.
Yes,
Right, so
absolutely.
let me answer some questions here.
Okay, so just for those of you who we do not get to your questions, you can email me at rebecca@DIYWithDocWallach.com, and we'll get answers for you. So let's go to the first hand that's raised, Ben, and that is Jane. Jane, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, Jane.
You are on live with Pharmacist Ben.
I've been on the protocol for the osteoporosis of the skull for a year, and I'm 79. I'm much improved, although my specific thing is that in the mornings I'm still very groggy, and then after taking the sweeties, the chromium and the vanadium product, right? The soles of my feet got hard and my calves. And I'm not walking right, and I'm wondering if there's a
Can I see what you look like there, Jane?
How do you mean?
Your camera.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to see you because I can tell a lot by looking.
I didn't. I thought I'd undone it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No worries. Okay, so first of all, I would not make a correlation between the sweeties and your feet. There's no mechanism for that to happen. So correlation, I should say, I wouldn't make a causal relationship. Correlation is not causation. So just because two things happen doesn't mean that they're connected. And I don't really see how sweeties would do that. Sweeties is one of those secondary valuable products because blood sugar, next to the digestive system, the blood sugar system is everything. So
and I was falling asleep all the time. And that was
there's a couple things going on. You're doing the Beyond Tangy Tangerine?
Yes.
Okay. So
scoop.
Are you on any medication?
The blood pressure, I can't name.
Is it a beta blocker?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, beta blockers are notorious for causing fatigue and causing lethargy. Think about what you're doing. You're blocking your heart. The beta refers to the nervous system, a part of the nervous system called the beta nervous system. The beta nervous system energizes the heart. You are taking a poison for your heart. You're poisoning your heart slowly. Now, if you go to your doctor and say that, he'll say, who is that crazy pharmacist? Who is that guy who said that? Well, you can't get around it. It's blocking your heart. It's in the name. It's a beta blocker. So do you think when you block your heart, you're going to have an energy issue? Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious, but you see where I'm going here.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So maybe there's something else that you can use for beta blocker. Is it for blood pressure or is it for your heart?
It's for blood pressure, and the blood pressure has so improved.
Okay, that's good. That's good. You mechanically improved it, but it's costing you things.
No. With that.
Oh, okay. With the supplements.
With your supplements.
Great. Absolutely. Magnesium can help. Is a natural antihypertensive. Vitamin C is a natural antihypertensive. Omega-3 fats, as we were talking earlier, natural hypertensive. Even fish oil is a natural antihypertensive. I'm sorry. My favorite way to lower the blood pressure, and this will help you with your energy, Jane, okay? This is my favorite way to lower blood pressure. For anybody who's on a beta blocker, wants to get off of it, or any kind of blood pressure medicine wants to get off of it, and keep in mind, and I'm saying this seriously, the #1 most notorious side effect of a beta blocker is fatigue and lethargy. And you can throw in depression and just feeling lousy on top of that. And that's why many people don't take them. So if you are on a drug and you want to wean yourself off of it, here's your secret recipe that's guaranteed to lower your blood pressure instantly with no toxicity and will add years to your life instead of shortening your life. Should we say now? Should we wait till next month?
Say it now.
You sure? Let's wait a month.
Go ahead.
No, we'll wait a month. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. I'm not going to do that. All right. It's called SDR breathing. SDR breathing. Jane, you have a blood pressure cuff?
Yes.
All right, so take your blood pressure tonight. You're probably already low. So this might not work for you because you're probably already where you need to be. So other people who are on antihypertensive or who are have high blood pressure, get a blood pressure cuff, take your blood pressure and see what it is baseline. Then do your SDR breathing. SDR stands for slow, deep, rhythmic breathing. And you have to do all three of those, because if you breathe incorrectly, you can make things worse. So you want to be slowly, deeply, and rhythmically. Slowly meaning as slow as you can go. Sometimes you can't even go slow. For some people, when they start, they can't go slow. 5, 10 seconds in, 5, 10 seconds out. Deeply means into the belly, even into the feet. If you can figure out how to breathe into the feet or into the floor, that's even better. But at least into the belly has to expand like a balloon when you inhale and has to constrict or get pressed in when you exhale, you blow out. And then the rhythm is important. The body loves rhythm, wants to be in a rhythmic state. So make sure you're following a rhythm. If you're not musical, you can get an app called My Breathing, called Breathe, B-R-E-E-T-H-E, or there's another one called Breathing Zone. There's a few different ones. I like Breathing Zone personally, and that will guide you through it. And then you take your blood pressure after and watch what happens to it. Now, if you want to, if you say, I don't want to, I got too much to do to breathe. I'm too busy to breathe. Here's a great way to hack into it, okay? Jane, you could do this. This will lower your blood pressure so fast that if you're on a blood pressure drug, you may start to feel dizzy or woozy. This will lower your blood pressure so fast. Take a warm bath. Sit in a hot tub. Do you ever sit in a hot tub and then you get out of the hot tub and you're dizzy? Right? That's because you've opened up your blood vessels. Why do you think hot water, it's called balneotherapy, hot water therapy is so valuable? It opens up the blood vessels. The bigger the blood vessels, the more oxygen is flowing to the tissues. The more nutrients are flowing to the cells. The more toxins are being drained from your body. Take a warm bath twice a day. I love women know this intuitively. Women are much more in touch with their bodies than men because women have a lot of body issues throughout their lives. And every month they're reminded they have a body. So women know about their bodies very well. And what does a woman do when she's depressed? What's the first thing, all you ladies? Take a bath, right? You go take a bath. You ever hear a guy say, I'm so depressed, I'm gonna go take a bath? Never. Women say it all the time because they intuitively understand that a bath has salubrious benefits, that is health promoting benefits. And one of the most important is it opens up your blood vessels. When was the last time a doctor, when you went for a high blood pressure doctor said, take 2 baths every day? Go, I always say this joke and people laugh, but it's true. If we really cared about health in this country, we would have national hot tub insurance where everybody gets a hot tub. All Americans get a hot tub in their backyard. We got free drugs, right? How about a free hot tub for everybody? When you sit in warm water, your blood pressure drops. And by the way, Jane, it'll drop so fast for you that you better tell your doctor what you're doing because he's gonna have to lower the dose of your beta blocker. Okay, and I wouldn't even do it right away if you're on the beta blocker. Maybe tell your doctor that you're going to be taking 2 baths a day, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. That's all you need. The bath, by the way, you know what a bath is, you guys? Check this out. A bath represents the last place most of us adult human beings ever felt safe. Where was that? Where was the last place we ever felt safe? The womb. A bath is the womb. You sit in a bath, your body says, I'm home. Welcome home. Everything opens up, it expands. As we get older, we contract. When we're sick, we're contracted. High blood pressure, hypertension is a contraction issue. A warm bath expands everything. Breathing expands everything. So what we want to do is we want to learn to expand. If you find as you get older, you're hunched over, practice expanding your spine. Practice expanding your chest, expanding your shoulders. It's impossible to be depressed if you're expanded. And warm water expands everything. Hot water, check it out tonight, Jane. Send me a note, ben@ksco.com. Tell me what you experience. All right, so as far as the skull goes, the osteoporosis of the skull goes, the Healthy Start Pack is great. You're probably on you're on the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack, I imagine. Stay on the glucosamine. I don't know if digestive enzymes are in there. No. I don't think get on the ultimate enzymes as well.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that in our next Zoom. But the ultimate enzymes help everything else work better. All right, so let's take 2 more questions. I know we're a little out of time, over time, but let's take 2 more questions.
All right, let's go to Renee. Renee, go ahead and unmute yourself. And if you could turn your camera on, that would be great as well. So I see that you are, uh-oh.
Renee? Hi, Renee.
Go ahead, Renee.
Hi, Ben. I really enjoy listening to you and Doc Wallach.
Thank you.
I know I heard you earlier talk about, don't worry about viruses and all this and that, but my body, I was in the hospital and was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré. And last month I had a blood test and I have Epstein-Barr that is really high. And so I started taking the healthy brain and heart pack. And when I started taking that, I was throwing up every day and couldn't hold any food down. My muscles felt like cement. And so the healthy brain and heart pack and some of the other supplements have helped me, but I've gained 50 pounds.
All right, hang on. Let's this is actually great, okay? Because you're kind of a case study for somebody who has multiple things going on that are all about one root. All the things you're talking about, and remind me, you said Epstein-Barr, you said Guillain-Barré, and I think you said one more thing.
Getting sick every day.
Getting sick every day, Epstein-Barr, Guillain-Barré, and what was the other thing, the 4th thing?
Well, numbness and
Okay. Well, that's part of the Guillain-Barré. So let's talk about all of it. And I want, this is time, I forgot to say this, and I always say this when I start doing a presentation or a talk, and it's really important. There's 4 dimensions to healing. There's 4 dimensions to health. There's 4 dimensions to wellness. And we spend a lot of time here talking about the physical dimension. The other 3 dimensions are critical to understand, especially if you're not getting better and you want to get better and you think you're doing everything you should be doing. The other 3 dimensions are spiritual, mental, and emotional. I call it SMAP, the 4 dimensions of healing. And we don't want to get caught, we don't want to get locked into the physical side at the expense of the spiritual, mental, and emotional. The mental and emotional are connected to the physical, not because I live in Boulder, Colorado, and I'm woo-woo hippy-dippy, but because every time you think a thought or have a feeling, it produces a hormone, which then produces your body. Your body is the end result through the action of hormones, which is a whole nother fascinating subject, by the way, through the action of hormones between the mental and emotional world. Mental and emotional turn into hormones and turn into your body. So your body will be the end result of hormones of distress or hormones of thrival. Hormones of survival or hormones of thrival. Hormones of contraction or hormones of expansion. Hormones of inflammation or hormones of anti-inflammation. Hormones of fear or hormones of love. Hormones of success and wonderfulness or hormones of failure and depression. And so we have to understand those dimensions. And then ultimately, this is not denominational in any way, shape, or form, but ultimately the visible world comes from the invisible world. The invisible world is where everything derives from, and we call it spiritual. Okay, so you could be Christian, you could be Muslim, you could be Jewish, you could be whatever it is, but you have to know there's something bigger than you that brings it down. Now, I'm not here to proselytize. I'm not here to be anybody's psychiatrist or mental health therapist, but I have to tell you that as a healthcare professional and you guys as healthcare coaches, you have to understand that they're all connected and you can't just work physically. Now, Renee, Renee's gone. Is Renee still there? Are you there, Renee?
I'm here.
Okay, so Renee is going through all of your issues, Renee, involve one part of the body. Now you have Epstein-Barr, that's a leaf. You have Guillain-Barré, for those of you who don't know, Guillain-Barré is a nervous system disease like polio, very similar. And by the way, Guillain-Barré disease went up when polio went down, which is an interesting coincidence there. So Guillain-Barré is a neurological issue. Epstein-Barr is a viral issue. It's an infection issue. The nausea and vomiting are located. The locus of distress is the digestive system. What do all three of those things have in common? The digestive system, the nervous system, and the immune system. What do they all have in common? They all have in common immunity, defense. Now, Renee, your body is in a defensive posture. I'm gonna help you change your life right now. I'm gonna help you change your health life, and if you extrapolate to your mental and your emotional and your spiritual life, I'm gonna help you there too. That's not in my business. I'm not gonna intrude in that way, but you can do the extrapolation yourself. Your body is in a defensive posture from a biochemical standpoint. So when the body is in a defensive posture, when the body is in a defensive mode, when the body is in defense and you want to end that defense, what is the logical thing to ask? Renee, help me. You look like a smart lady, even though I can't see you anymore.
Stop.
Renee?
Stop.
Well,
I wanted to stop. I'm just saying I wanted to stop.
Listen to me. Listen to this question. If your symptoms are related to defense, which they are, immunity, and you want those symptoms to stop, what do you have to figure out? You have to figure out what is offending the body. Why is the body in a defensive posture? See, the body's not stupid. We're stupid. Our bodies are not stupid. Our bodies are wise. So if your body is in a defensive posture, it's responding to something. Do you follow? It's a response to an offense. You can't have defense without offense. If you have a defensive reaction, you have an offensive intruder, right? Your burglar alarm doesn't go off unless there's a burglar, hopefully, right? Your alarm doesn't go off unless something's offending your body. Your question, the only question you need to ask yourself, this will change your life today, is what is my body defending itself against? Guillain-Barré is the body defending itself from something. Epstein-Barr virus is the body stressed out so it cannot defend itself from something. Nausea and digestive distress are the digestive system responding to something. Your body is reacting. All your symptoms are reactions. Means in response to. This is so important because it puts our health challenges back where they belong. Everybody understand this. The word tells us that our body is responding to an action. Our body is responding to something we are doing. This gives us power. Otherwise, you're like, what do I do? Who do I go to? What can I help me? I'm telling you, you're doing something. So what is it? All disease is cell disease. All cell disease is preceded by dirty blood. How does the blood get dirty? Well, you're not shooting up crack cocaine in the back alleys, I don't think, right? You're not sticking anything through your blood. So how else do things get into the body? Through food. Through food. So that's what I said earlier. Work on the digestive system. That is the root to the Epstein-Barr leave, to the Guillain-Barré leave, to the digestive system leave. You can play around with the leaves all you want, but that cow has already left the barn. That's the end. You got to get to tomorrow's Guillain-Barré, to tomorrow's disease states. You get to tomorrow's disease states by working on your gut. So here's what you do, okay? And I don't know if you're going to want to do it, but this is what you should do. Stop eating for a day. Stop eating for 2 days.
I've done that.
If you can stop eating for 3 days, stop eating for 3 days. That's called it. Okay, great. That's great. So you should have no problem. If you do 3 days, that's
yeah,
great.
but I do it, but I still am gaining weight.
Hang on. You want me to let me tell you what to do. Okay. Did you understand, first of all, did you understand the logic of your body is in a defensive posture and it's being offended?
I do, and I
No, hang on. I'm gonna work with me here. So do you understand that? Because I don't want to, I can't proceed.
I do.
Okay, good. All right. So we got to figure out what it's defending itself against. By stopping eating for 3 days, first of all, your body will love you for that. Your body will have a break for your intestines, specifically your digestive system will have a break, and you'll be conserving resources, nutritional resources that would be expended to try to digest the food. So by the third day, if you can do 3 days, and that's congratulations if you can, because that's really hard. If you do the third day, you're gonna start to feel really good. But what that will do, aside from that, what that will do is it will prepare you for the second stage. Okay, so while you said you fasted for the first, you've already done that, you haven't gone to the second stage. The second stage is when you start to get some data. Without data, you're flying blind. You're like walking down a dark alley trying to find the walls. Data is like a light. It will shine a light on what's going on in your body. So if you understand that your body's being offended and you understand that it's not because you're shooting up heroin in the back alley, you know that it's being offended from the digestive system. We got to figure out what that is. When you stop eating for 2 or 3 days, you will become much more sensitive to foods that you didn't notice you had a problem with, because the body and the brain are such that they ignore things that happen all the time. It's only when things are unusual that we notice them. And when you stop eating for 3 days, you're going to notice things you didn't notice before. And this is true for anybody who's got a chronic disease or has a complex or a constellation of symptoms like Renee has. Sometimes they're the most frustrating things to deal with, because you're like, what the heck do I do first? Do I take care of my Epstein-Barr? Do I take care of my Guillain-Barré? Do I take care of my nausea? I feel like crap. What do? You cut to the chase. You find out what your body's reacting to. Now, that requires a food diary where you write down everything you eat, write down everything you have. You write down everything, how your body responds to that specific food. That's called a food diary. Then you're going to start to eliminate foods. Once you start to eliminate foods, you're going to notice that you're starting to feel better, and that's when you can start to use some digestive supplements, like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, but not a full, you want to do small amounts of it, the Ultimate EFAs, the Beyond Osteo-fx that we talked about, and the Nightly Essence, the Ultimate Nightly Essence, or the Digestive Distress Pack, or the Digestive Daily Pack, both of which contain nutrients for the intestine. That's the core of your problem. Renee and everybody listening, this is not just for Renee, it's for everybody listening. When you have all of these satellite symptoms like leaves on the tree, go to the root, the soil, if you will. The intestine is the soil of the body. And just like there are microorganisms that live in the soil that help plants grow, there are microorganisms that live in the soil of your intestine that help your body grow. When those microorganisms are thrown off, as happens when you drink chlorinated water, when you drink fluoridated water, when you drink any water that has antibiotics in it, when you take antibiotics, when you do 99% of the things that we do in terms of foods and things we ingest in our body, contaminate or disrupt our microbiome, our bacteria, it's not very long before you're going to start to get sick. So you're going to have to start to replace the microbiome, et cetera. But start off by fasting, doing a food diary, and then starting to eliminate foods and getting on your nutritional supplements. If you like Renee, send an email to ben@ksco.com and I will work with you personally. The only thing I ever ask, and I'll work with people personally all the time, the only thing I ask is that you are willing. That's the number one thing you need to be healthy or to heal, is not nutritional supplements. It's willingness. You have to want to, and you have to believe it. And while it may seem, I've been doing this healing, I've been in the healing business for almost 40 years now. And while it may seem like we all want to heal and we all want to get better, that's not always the case. So I'll work with anybody who needs my help. And I'll tell you, if you do it correctly, I can guarantee you results if you do it correctly, but you have to be willing, because I don't want to be a persuader when it comes to health. It's really none of my business. You know what, guys? We have loved ones who are sick, and I get calls all the time from kids who want to take care of their parents, or parents who want to take care of their kids, or husband who wants to take care of their wife, or vice versa. We all get the right to be sick. We all are allowed to be sick, and we all have our own lessons to learn. So I don't ever persuade anybody. I encourage you not to persuade anybody. And the hardest thing a parent or a husband or a wife or a loved one has to see is watch their son or their husband or wife or other loved one do the wrong things when you know what can help them. And that's a hard thing, but that's on us. You don't want to impose that on anybody else, and I would never impose it. So anybody, including you, Renee, if you're willing, send me an email, put your phone number there, because I like to talk. It's easier for me to talk than it is to write, and I'm happy to work with you. So I encourage you to do it, Renee. Renee, if you do everything I tell you, I'm guaranteeing you're going to start to feel better. 100% guaranteed. Okay?
So that KSEO?
K for King, S for Sam, C for cat, O for Oscar. And I do get tons of emails, so sometimes it takes a while for me to get back to you, but I'll get back to you, especially quick, Renee.
Okay,
I want to work with you. Thank you so much. Let's take one more. And I know
Thank
we're
you.
like way out of time, over time, but I'll do one more.
All right, Ben. So one thing that we had a question in regards to doing the 3-day fast.
Mhm.
What do you eat or drink during that
So
3-day fast?
first of
No,
all,
there's no eating.
a 1-day fast is hard enough. So 3 days is if you're really, really serious. But the thing about fasting is at the end of maybe the first day or the middle of the second day, you don't want to eat. You will feel so, your body will, this is really important. Our bodies are always talking to us. The next time you get your Snickers bar, your apple pie or something, your French fries or something you're not supposed to do, and take the French fry and raise it to your lips very slowly. And you will hear a voice go, no, just like that. That's the wisdom. That's the still small voice. And it will tell you everything you need to know. And when you fast for 2 days or a day and a half, that's still, and you go grab some food, that still small voice will go, no. It will tell you. The thing is, if we don't stop, we don't hear it. We spend all our time talking. And when I say talking, I mean talking in our head. We think all the time. Thinking is talking in our head. We never stop talking. Guess what? You can't talk and listen at the same time. If you're talking, you're not listening. When you fast, everything slows down. You can hear things. Do you know when you fast, colors appear brighter? Sounds appear crisper. Life becomes more vibrant when you fast because everything is still and now you can listen. We spend all our lives talking. I'm the worst. I make my living talking. I help people talking. I have to meditate twice a day. I have to make sure I spend time not talking. But even if you're not presenting, even if you're not doing a radio show, even if you're not out in the public, you're talking in your head. We're all talking in our head. La, 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 la. Everybody, all of us. So it's critical to slow things down so you can be alive, so you can see, so you can smell, so you can touch, so you can hear. And so when you fast, all of a sudden, you'll notice things about the foods you're eating. You'll notice when a food is something you're not supposed to eat. It will speak to you and your body will speak to you. It'll tell you more. So 3-day fasting is when it really becomes clear. 2 days, it starts to become clear. 1 day is okay. And you still get benefits with the allocation of nutritional resources. And you give your poor, sweet intestine a break. Think about this. You ever hear these people say you're supposed to eat all day? You're not supposed to eat, you're supposed to eat graze, they call it. That is the dumbest. I hope I'm not offending anybody here. That's the craziest thing because then you never give your intestine a break. Most of us, our intestines haven't had a break since we're an infant for a lot of us. So even a day gives your intestine a break. So the question is, as Rebecca said, and this is a very common question, what do I do? What do I eat? What do I take? If you do it 1 or 2 day fast, or even a 3-day fast, you can miss your supplements. It's not the end of the world. On the other hand, what you're doing when you're fasting is you're lowering or eliminating calories. Calories are the bad guy. Calories cost nutritional resources. Calories speed the body up. Calories shorten lifespan. Calories increase inflammation. Calories burden the immune system. So the idea of a fast is to reduce the calories. There's no calories in your supplements. So the supplements don't really matter either way. You definitely want to make sure you're hydrated and drinking water. And for the first day, if you're not used to fasting, it's nice just to lay in bed. Don't go to work. Do it on a weekend. Do it when you don't have to be busy and running around, and just relax. Give yourself a day off. We have this idea that taking time off is a bad thing. We all like vacations, but even on our vacations, we don't take time off. Ever hear anybody say, I need a vacation from my vacation, right? We don't ever stop and just let the body do its thing. Under conditions of fasting, under conditions of no input into the body, something called autophagy kicks in. Autophagy, AUTOPHAGY, is self-cleaning. How cool is this? You have a self-cleaning dishwasher? Your body self-cleans. It gets rid of all the old stuff. It gets rid of all the old cells. It gets rid of all the toxic cells. It replaces the parts inside the cells. But in order for it to do it, in order for autophagy to occur, there has to be no input. Input shuts down autophagy. When there's no input, the body repairs itself. So under conditions of fasting, not only are you going to become more sensitive to foods that you're having problems with, not only are you going to become more alive and more vital, but your body will clean itself out. It will repair itself. The cells themselves will clean themselves out and repair themselves. So you have multiple benefits with the fasting. It's about calories. It's not about supplements. You can take the supplements. It's not the end of the world if you don't. It's not the end of the world if you do. The idea is to eliminate the work that the body has to do so that it can repair itself, so that you can become more sensitive to foods and become more alive and sensitive to your environment. All right. So I did another half hour there. I hope that's okay. Is that everybody good? I know I probably didn't, there's probably questions. That's a ton of information, you guys. And that's what we're all about. That's what longevity is all about. And you can do the same thing I do. So we'll hopefully we'll see you next month. I'm on Coast to Coast this week on Tuesday for you guys who listen to Coast to Coast. And then reach out to Rebecca if are there new people online on the call?
There are some new people.
So
There's
reach out to Rebecca.
that were invited. But if somebody specifically invited you to this program, get back with them. So I know there was a lot of my distributors that shared this program with other people, some of their own people. Get back with the person that shared this program with you. Okay.
And listen to the bright side too. brightsideben.com.
Awesome. So Ben, we had talked about just doing an hour
Yes,
once a month.
yeah. Well,
I
we'll
don't know
shoot
if
for
you're
an
going
hour.
to be able to stick to an hour.
We'll shoot for an hour. Do we lose people? I hope you didn't lose anybody.
No, we haven't lost anybody, but we still have a bunch of hands up, and so let's consider going a little bit longer next time. But again, if you have questions that you would like to have answered, Rebecca at DIYwithdocwallach.com. You can send those emails and we'll get answers for you. So I just want to thank everybody for joining us here with our first Q&A with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs. I am honored to be able to be the host. He makes it easy because he does all the talking. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you come back. We will be coming up with a website that you can sign up for reminders of these calls. So keep an eye out for that. With Jonty, am I missing anything? I want to thank Jonty. He's our webmaster, our technical guru, and co-host. I also want to thank Lance Layman's for being here as well, and helping with the co-hosting of this program, and all of you for being such great, fantastic. We didn't have to kick anybody out for whatever. So thank you. You make our jobs easier as we provide this resource for others to be able to glean information that empowers them to take control of their own health. So, Pharmacist Ben.
Thank you,
You are
Rebecca.
awesome.
Thank you, and thank you to Jonty, and thank you to Lance, and thank you to everybody. Thank you all. I appreciate all you guys.
All right, everybody.
Hopefully I'll see you in person sometime soon with all this craziness calms down.
Oh, absolutely. I was thinking about coming out at the end of the month, but I don't know that it's going to work. So
All right.
next time. We'll
Bye,
talk to you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye for now.